of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This land of ours is under attack. Time has come, we're gonna take it back. Just wait and see. Don't tread on me. I won't sit back, stand idly by. Watch the heart of my nation die. Oh, not me. Don't tread on me. Don't tread on my Bible, don't tread on my guns. Don't you tread on my faith in God's only Son.
Hey everybody, this is John Marietta, and I am the Hillbilly, and it's another Trump-tastic day in Fayette County. It's beautiful out there. Gino's with me. He made it all the way in from Connersville. How's the roads, Gino?
Yeah, they're not bad, but it's still coming down, so be careful.
Yeah, let's everybody be careful. Stay safe tonight. Stay warm. One of the things I do want to mention real quickly, hey, if you got a portable heater, electric heater, or a gas heater, or not a gas heater, but kerosene, or you're running a diesel heater, please be extra cautious about it, because it seems like we're having a good many fires right now. And I tell you what, I feel for these firemen. I feel for the people that this is happening to. Please be careful. I know everybody's trying to stay warm and as cheaply as they can, but let's be safe.
Extra careful.
Yeah, let's be extra careful and be safe. Hey, today's show is brought to you by Monarch Windows and Doors, Miles' Garage and Tire Center, Mung's Auto Body, PatriotsOnline.com, Fayette County Recovery Storage and U-Haul, and I imagine Hubie's down there working right now. He's probably wanting somebody to come store some stuff, or he's wanting to help recover something for you. Gunslingers in Connersville, Thunder Hills Feed and Supply, The Ink Spot, Solid Foundation Ministries, Highline Motorsports, Gun Owners of America, Hillbilly Jon Radio, which is on YouTube, and I don't know how many other platforms. We're going on a couple more platforms, I guess, next week. And John Marietta for We the People, and White Mountain Logging. I just got, that's how we heat our houses with wood, and I just got a triaxle load of logs the other day, so we'll be cutting them up and here, getting them ready to go in the outdoor boiler. In the book of Proverbs, integrity is hailed as a non-negotiable trait for godly leadership. This trait is explicitly mentioned in Proverbs 10:9. Whoever walks in integrity walks securely, but he who makes his way crooked will be found out. This verse points out that leaders who prioritize integrity have nothing to fear, while those who choose deceit will eventually be exposed. I wanted to read that to you because there's a bunch of stuff going on in our county, and
it's certainly pertinent.
It is very pertinent. I haven't got all the final details, but it looks like the county commissioners did borrow $9 million, and the tax increase is going to be 1.7. I need to get everybody into the county commissioner's office. I'm pretty sure we're going to get WMBS in there. We got some finalized to do, like we can televise it again.
We do have a meeting coming up.
Yeah,
and that would be in Thursday, January the 16th.
And they're counting on us not being there right now. I'm telling you, they are counting on us not being there. They're counting on us not standing up for our rights, and it's taxation without representation.
Sure. So
I mean, let's think about it. In our forefathers went to war over a 2-cent tea tax. I mean, that's what. I mean, there was a lot of other things involved in getting us there, but tyranny is something that we went to war for. And I'm not calling for insurrection. I'm not calling for a war, but we need to make these county commissioners
just show up, people. We
accountable.
Need your help.
I mean, Scott Dunn, one of the Reagan Republicans, voted for this, and he said that he wanted to do away with the tax incentive loans back in 2020 or 2019 when he got elected.
That's quoted in the paper. He's definitely going the wrong way.
And we're going the wrong way.
We've never been a debtor county, John, and we're now a debtor county.
Well, for the years that he's been in office, we've been a debtor county.
Yeah, it's just
so. Let's
crazy.
just think about this, people. Now I know there were some things that was put on him from past administrations, but let's think about this. The Vince Facilities has been in office for over 30 years. Did I have that right, Gino? Or will it be 30?
I think so. Yeah, I think it will be.
Okay, we've grown increasingly in debt over them 30 years. So let's think about what we're doing here, people. It's time for change. We're going to put together some things in the near future about getting people together, and we're going to try to get this. It's not too late. It's not too late. They can figure out how to not do this tax increase, or maybe do. We've already got a quarter of a mil knocked off of it.
So listen, that's good news, people. The pressure right away. They initially, to recap this, in November, they knew they were in trouble, so they very quickly scrambled and they passed an ordinance to allow them to borrow $15 million in the form of a bond on a line of credit. And to do that, they actually had to go in front of a judge. There was no press. There was no discussion about it. And then it was less than a month later, they proposed a budget. And at that time, the budget was a 28% tax increase. And this is the second substantial tax increase they did in less than 4 years. These commissioners did this just 4 years ago, so you think they would have learned.
They did a mill back 4 years ago. Yep.
A lot of the public showed up and voiced their opposition, and that really, I think that was part of the reason that they did lower and they made some more cuts. Now, on a good note, the public showing up, I think, really was a factor in them, sharpening their pencils a little bit. It was standing room only at that meeting. There were over 100 plus people there easily. Mm-hmm. And we know of people that couldn't get in because there was nowhere to park. So that budget unfortunately passed 2-1. Commissioner Scott Dunn, our chairman, and Vince Facilities, the vice chair, voted for the increase. And Commissioner Dave Lohr voted no. Now let's talk about some of the collateral damage from this Dunn and Facilities budget. Seniors on fixed incomes, they're the collateral damage of this Dunn and Facilities budget. And it's just so not fair to put this on them. And, it's just a shame when seniors are forced to choose between heating their homes and paying their property taxes. It just shows that there's something very deeply wrong, with the county. We've got years of year after year of a decreasing population. And yet they spend and keep buying buildings. They bought, a half dozen buildings. They built a jail. They said they had that all under control.
We got one building that they put a ton of money into. We think it's $5 million. We think it might even be more than that. But they're only on the second floor.
And these are just vanity projects.
Yeah, and what people don't understand is we have a fourth floor in the courthouse that it looks like a bomb went off in.
You could lose a couple of $1 million in there fixing that.
There's millions of dollars worth of work to be done because you can put if you put a new kitchen in your house, you're spending $60,000.
Right.
So just to fix up.
And the cost of everything, unfortunately, is going to just keep going up.
Yeah, it isn't like we can go out. Well, maybe me and Gino will have to do that. We'll have to help them out. We'll have to cut some trees down and get them some boards to work with, huh?
Yeah, I think. Well, I'll tell you what, there is a little bit of good news. So it appears that the commissioners may have started to listen to the public a little bit. They started making some cuts. It's my understanding that first they dropped the original budget from 28 to 26, which 26 is still ridiculous. And we're hearing that they let go about a dozen employees.
Well, we're not sure what the number is yet, but
they made some serious cuts.
Yeah.
And so also you have the board was full of jobs. I mean, where they were desperately trying to get a full regiment of people working for the county that didn't get filled.
Yeah.
And so you do have a savings there, and I hope it was intentional. And I hope that they did the right thing in these layoffs or terminations. I hope they had cause. I hope they're not getting us in any more litigation or any more lawsuits. And, that's a big if because it seems like they're not really working well together. And They're getting us in, it's my understanding there's several lawsuits against the county right now. But and that's just put it mildly. But it does seem that the public pressure is working. It's had a small impact. Now is not the time to stop. Now's the time to double down. We need to get to this meeting, and that's the good news. And we're not going to just sit here and gripe and complain. We're going to give you some things you can do, because there are some things we can do to make a difference. First off, number one, we need people to attend the public meetings, particularly the county commissioner meetings. Now, we know that's hard. They did not listen to the public when the public asked very clearly in December.
We're going to try to get that on.
We're
going to try to get that on the agenda, that they need to change the meetings at least.
They forget who they work for. But they're counting on by these morning meetings. They won't have a turnout. They won't have any accountability. Now, the other thing is, organize with your committee groups, Democrat, Republican, whatever groups you belong to, even if they're non-political groups. Try to motivate your groups to get involved and start holding these commissioners accountable. We need to know, where's the opioid money being spent? Where is this $15 million, which I guess I understand they didn't get the full 15, which is probably good for us.
Yeah.
Where are they spending this $8 or $9 million? We can do that with right to know request very soon. We're going to be doing some workshops on how to do right to know request. Educate your fellow citizens, because not everybody listens to WMBS. Not everyone's on Facebook. If you're a property owner, we got to motivate the public. They can open up this budget anytime they want, and it's very common for county commissioners to open up a budget in the month of January and rework the numbers. So let's hope that they do that, and they're only going to do that is if we keep the pressure on. And, we have to advocate for open budgeting process and real-time access to these financial records. And we may not get that, although Dave Lord did. He did say that we'd have a complete breakdown of how the $9 million was and what it was being spent on. And so let's hope that happens. The other thing, folks, vote responsibly. Do your research on the candidates. People get buffaloed by candidates all the time. I mean, it's heartbreaking when you work for a candidate.
Well, they
lose their way. That's happened to me so many times.
Yeah, but they told us, Gino, when we were questioning the budget last year, when we were questioning it not last fall, but the fall before, when we were questioning the budget, they said there's no money problems.
Everything was fine.
Dave Lord stood up and said, we're paying all of our bills on time. And guess what? They weren't. They weren't.
In fact, that's why we're in this horrendous position now. So the other thing is vote responsibly and get involved politically. And, there's a lot of races coming up. Run for office. We've got to get fresh leadership in. And I'll help anyone that's trying to run for any office, even in your local community, but here in the county. We've got to get this thing under control. And really, let's push for third-party audits of the county finances. I mean, it's a train wreck. The way they move money around, something near and dear to my heart. I have a cousin that died from an opioid overdose. And I recently was at a workshop out at the Collinsville Airport that Bob Baker, our coroner, put on.
And it was very informative, and it was very good. And there's somebody somebody looks like he took $100,000 out of his budget.
Sure. So he's doing a lot to try to stop this. There's opioid money there. Let's get that routed over to his office. We've got to start using that opioid settlement money responsibly. In 2023 in Connersville, the area I'm from, we lost 14 young adults or people to opioid to overdoses. There's many more overdoses. Narcan's really, a lot of people have come back from the Narcan, but we're talking about 14 deaths. And Uniontown, 19 deaths in 2023. And I don't have 2024's numbers, but I'm sure that the coroner will make those available soon. These are our family and our we know these
our
people.
Kids.
They make one mistake and they get this fentanyl or whatever.
Yeah.
And for the grace of God, I got through that phase of my life, partying and doing the crazier things. But now it just breaks my heart. And not only that, besides the humanitarian aspect of it, it's very expensive. Bob said if he can cut down on the number of deaths from overdose, it'll save the county money.
Well,
there's a lot of when someone passes, there's a big movement of personnel and expenses and things like that. And so that's another. We need a community. There's just there's not a lot of hope in this community, and
Well,
it's lacking. We have to do what we can to get it under control, the spending, and there's some money there. And our money isn't going to solve everything, but that opioid money, it can only be used to fight this drug epidemic. And I know they did some little hokey program. I want to see the results. Did it even work? And we got to do better. And so we need to be at the meeting, putting pressure on them for that. Because here's what happens. This overtaxation is really an erosion of our liberty. It really is. Overtaxation isn't just a financial burden. It's a step towards losing more and more of our freedoms. When a government takes more than it needs, it's taking more than just your money. It is taking away our liberty. So we have got to stand up for our liberty. We've got to get this financially. We got to get under control. We can't be slaves to the taxation by the county. And, that just brings me to, and I mentioned this on the show before, Matthew 7:17 and verse 18. Even so, every good tree bringeth forth good fruit, but a corrupt tree bringeth forth evil fruit. And then 18 of that verse goes on to say, every tree that bringeth not forth good fruit is hewn down and cast into the fire. So when you hewn a log, you chop it. You don't get it in one little chop. You chop, you square it, but then you throw it into the fire. I don't care if we got to make 1,000 chops at these guys. They've got to step up, and they can at any point turn around, and they can turn things around, and they can start getting this budget under control.
Well, the thing of it is, Gino, it's very apparent just from what the way they represented themselves at the last commissioners meeting, playing on their phones. Two of them were definitely. Scott Dunn and Vince Facilities was definitely playing on their phones.
Well, I know they think they can weather it and the people are going to go away, but I don't think they're going to go away.
Not this time. Not this time. And what happens is they gave everybody, the parents in that meeting, that the only thing they were worried about was making sure that they was going to get to sit behind a desk and get reelected and at the county level again. That's all. Let's face it, that's what they were about. They were about themselves, and we could see that. And
everybody
it was very
saw
apparent.
That, very apparent. Now, listen, this isn't just a fight that me and John. There's a lot of people, a lot of different groups. There's people, frankly, they're on our side on this issue, and I don't think they're very fond of us. But that's okay. We need a collaboration of all the people in this community. If we don't get control of this now, right now, the fight is now, we're going to lose this county. We can reverse it now. We have to form coalitions with groups from different parties, different interests. I don't care if it's a stamp collecting group. Get to the next meeting. Bring your group. Spread the word.
And
this is going to affect renters too, big time.
Yeah, I mean, we all talk to each other. We all go to churches and the churches we go to, and this is going to affect everything. I mean, the 25% increase, the 25% increase or 27% increase, we might as well call it 30. We might as well just say 30 because by the time you get done and the money and everything, it's going to be it's a 30% increase on everything you do.
They've got to figure out a way. They got to start shrinking our county government and get it under control because right now there's no one. Just about a dozen people maybe got let go. Now we also have to make sure that was a stunt I saw employed by Vince Facilities over the year. You close the department, you get rid of some staff, then you wait 4 or 5 months, you sneak them back in. We got to make sure that doesn't happen. We've got to be diligent, and we're going to do our best. But we need help, people. Please get involved in this fight with us. And really, we just got to keep following the money. And if we follow the money, it'll take us where it takes us.
Just like Donald Trump says, follow the money.
Follow the money. I mean, you know that doesn't lie. Every reporter, that's, and we just really got to get this thing under control because nothing works, And I personally love trails. I hate that they use the trail argument to try to gaslight. This isn't about not wanting trails because I tell you what, we're going to share some information in the upcoming weeks about trails. They're really going to surprise you. We're very pro trails. And the people that say they're for the trails, we're going to show you irrefutable proof that they really aren't. So what we have to do now
Well, Gino,
Let's get
let's
to
just
that
think
meeting.
about this. From what you told me when you were in the commissioner's office, you said that they had the money that was appropriated already to build all the trails.
Well, what we did, we had a fund that Commissioner Ambrosini and Zabatowski put together to use all the receipts from the natural gas that came off of the parks to use in a fund to match grants for trails where you needed a matching grant. There was
Okay.
never any taxpayer money involved
Okay.
in that. Because, that's reality if you're in government. Parks are at the bottom of the priority list. That's just how it is. So parks have to generate their own income. They can't be subsidized by the taxpayers. We just don't have a strong enough tax base to do that. I mean, that is what we're doing, frankly, but it shouldn't be. There were a lot of things that you could do to make the parks actually a net gainer for the county, like your office is.
Mm-hmm.
And then what happened? The commissioners that came in after Ambrosini and Zabatowski, they just took that money and rolled it into the general fund. So that never happened. Also, at one point, and we're going to check this out, but we believe that the county did at one point own the entire Sheepskin Trail and lock, stock, and barrel, and then some shady property transit actions happened, and we're gonna detail all that. We're still putting that all together. But at any rate, this isn't about trails. This is about this tax. We cannot tax. We can't be profitable as a county. They're breaking everybody's back. And, it's like they're designing a county for people that aren't here yet. But the people that are here cannot afford this tax increase, and they know it. Commissioner Vasides filed personal bankruptcy, and that's his business. But whenever his bad spending habits tear into my pocket, start costing me an additional $1,500 a year on my taxable properties and my corporation's taxable properties, now that's something the public deserves to know about.
Well, absolutely.
This is bad financial management. There has to be some accountability, and I'll pull the extra $1,500 up. But this is just, there's people that can't make it. And this is not a rich county. I don't want to pay, and this tax increase is forever. This bad spending is going to go way past these commissioners. We're a debtor county. It's in the Constitution of the state. Counties aren't allowed to run a deficit. They had to go to the judge and get special permission to run a deficit. And they said unforeseen expenses. They saw this coming, and it was coming for at least Scott Dunn. When he did that last tax increase, the first one he did, you thought he would have been diligent on the books. How in the world I just don't understand it. I really expected Vince to be in favor of a tax increase, but not Scott. That just blows my mind. There needed to be cuts, hard cuts, and I really thought that with two Republicans in office, they would make the hard decisions and make those cuts. But instead, they went on a spending spree with the COVID money, and they leveraged us into phenomenal debt that, frankly, they got a framework now that's just set up that they're going to have to raise taxes again and again. You have to shrink the government. I mean, it's going to be hard, and it's going to hurt some people, but you have to do it because it may hurt some of the and we got these buildings, and, they should have took care of the people first, John. Now you got buildings, there's no one to work in them.
Well, that's the thing.
I mean, that's insane.
I mean,
that's completely insane.
You're going to have places. There's going to be.
We're heating all these thousands of square foot in the Gallatin Bank building, and was there a dozen people work in there?
Well, you got the election office and you got the tax assessment office.
That's completely inefficient.
Which they combined, and they've got a mess there that they got. I get a phone call at least once a week from a different tax collector because of what's going on there. At least once a week because it's inefficient. We went through.
Yeah, this isn't hard.
We stopped that sheriff's sale on account of their inefficiencies, and now I don't think
it's
all twisted up.
I don't think that was inefficiency. I think that was set up so just a few select people could benefit from the tax sale, John. You'll never convince me there was less than 20 people registered. That was shady. I'll just say what it is. And then we went, and when we brought it out and they redid it, there was a lot more people at that sale. And I would argue it's pretty obvious that they made a lot more money by having all those extra people to sell. And that's money that comes back to the county and the poor people that lost their properties.
Well, and then we found out that there was places that was sold that the taxes were paid on. I mean, that was the other thing.
Well,
right?
that's,
we had to take care of 5 or 6 of them.
We give them the benefit of the doubt because they're still getting their sea legs together. But I do like the idea of combining some offices. I think that's something they're going to have to look at, but they got to do it in a cost savings way.
Well, they're going to be forced to do it, Gino. I mean, the population is to the point now where they're going to be forced to do it.
I mean, everyone sees this. Leaders will take the problem and fix it before. I mean, they're just letting this problem manifest into so many crazy things. You know, it's just insane. Leaders will get out and they'll solve the problem. They see it's been a problem and deal with it. We're a rudderless ship, right?
I never thought of it that way.
We're a rudderless ship. We have no captain.
Yeah, we don't.
These guys are bozos.
We don't have no captain.
We got Captain Kangaroo.
And you can't blame. And this is the thing about this. We've said this. I know if we've said it, if we haven't said it once, we've said it 100 times. This isn't this isn't about a Republican or a Democrat.
This is common sense,
This
folks.
is just common sense. I mean, a Republican and a Democrat voted for this tax increase. So
I just showed you that it's a uniparty. And I really, locally, look, we didn't have labels at the national level, but here locally, it doesn't matter. My goodness gracious, this is, we're all much more mature than that. This is just doing the right thing for your neighbors and your family. I mean, these people are from here. Their families are from here. What are they doing? How can you just take care of yourself when you got to live with these people, or maybe you don't. Maybe they plan on moving.
I don't know. I wouldn't want to be. I mean, you can make a mistake, and at least you can say, "Hey, this was a mistake." But they haven't.
They haven't backed down.
And
we've tried to give them the benefit of the doubt. But right now, if we don't act, this is going to cost people at least hundreds of dollars forever a year out of your budget.
Yeah,
and this is not the time.
I can tell you, this is going to cost me a week's. What would I spend to go on a week's vacation?
They're stealing your vacation. See, that's what they're stealing from people. That little bit of extra, that liberty, that sense of, hey, the grandparent that can afford to get their grandkids something a little bit nicer, or go on a trip, or go out to eat, because it's expensive to go out to eat. You're lucky if you can go out for $50. Even breakfast, me and my wife, we're usually close to $50. It's like, it's just so outrageous.
Yeah,
now.
It isn't like you're eating at Nemacolin and Woodlands.
No, you're not going to eat. $50. You're not even going to get in the door.
Yeah, I mean,
which is another thing. That's another thing needs looked at. We're subsidizing these big projects like Nemacolin and Woodland, these big Fayette Penn projects. Now, not directly, but the commissioners appoint to that board. What the heck is Fayette Penn doing, giving our solar energy to the Japanese and all these wild deals with millions of dollars? They need to take care of the people. This is pretty simple. This isn't even socialism. This is you got to get your foot off of our back so we can survive and take care of ourselves.
It ain't on our back. They're trying to put it on our throat.
Yeah,
that's where we're at right now. It's bad enough that they tackled us, knocked us down.
We can still you can make a difference. Like this is where our government is a beautiful thing. I mean, most people, they have disdain, but this democracy is just a beautiful thing. And they just need reminded who they work for. If the people show up, that's what we have to do. We have to show up and step up and speak up. And you'll see this is the way it's supposed to work. We are the sovereign. They work for us.
This is true.
Do not give up the fight. This fight is just starting. And I tell you, if we don't take on the fight, you may as well move out of this county. Because these guys, unless they get some resistance, they'll just keep going. You think that they'll burn through that $9 million loan? They're not going to put that back. They'll put some of it back, but they're going to keep sliding behind, further and further and further behind. You just can't own all these buildings and heat them and cool them and insure them and staff them and not keep spending more money. There's no end in it.
Well, we got to close up, and I got a couple things I got to do. But one of the things that I want to mention here, the Point Marion United Methodist Church, they always seem to support me and talk about different things there. The church's website is pmumc20.com. And they have a thrift store that is currently open in their church fellowship hall. And it opens on Wednesdays from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. They sell the clothes for all ages, and all proceeds go to benefit. Now, listen to this. All the benefit our local food bank, which is also out of their own church, for anyone that signs up. We also appreciate any donations from the community towards this cause. The food bank, they do through Fayette Community Action, where they can sign up if they're having any difficulties. Okay. I wanted to make sure I mentioned that because, Gino, I drive down the road. I got 30 seconds, and you see these food people in line for food banks. But anyways, on this road called life, you have to take the good with the bad. Smile when you're sad. Love what you got. Remember what you had. Always forgive, but never forget. Learn from your mistakes. People change. Things go wrong. Just remember the ride goes on. God bless each and every one of you. I am John Marietta. I am the Hillbilly. Have a wonderful weekend. Be back at you next Tuesday.